Right.
So if David Lammy could prove me calling him a moron online caused harassment, alarm and distress, that's an investable offence.
Oh, really?
I completely agree with you, apart from one point which we've discussed before: incitement to violence.
The 64-year-old retiree called Stefan Niehoff. There's a minister in Germany called Robert Habeck. I don't know what his role is. And this 64-year-old retiree pasted on his YouTube or Twitter, has a couple of thousand followers, a joke basically calling Robert Habeck a moron. It's called Schwarz. Apparently Schwarzkopf means moron. You know the shampoo or the whatever. It means moron apparently. And he put a picture of him with that underneath it. So he's now being prosecuted in a German court.
Yeah.
Because there are now new laws in Germany, which I wasn't even aware of, I don't know if you were aware of, where you can be prosecuted under the offence of insult. So
offensive insult to a politician.
Yes, to a public figure.
Yeah, a public figure, yeah.
So when you, on many occasions, have called David Lammy a moron, which I haven't, by the way, folks, just I have actually, but let's pretend I haven't. But somebody like you who calls David Lammy a moron, if this law came into effect in this country, you could be prosecuted and sent to prison.
There's a law very similar to that in our country over the Communications Act.
Right.
So there's things you can say on the internet that you can be arrested for, but you wouldn't be arrested for it if you said it in the street, because there's a Communication Act. So we have less free speech online than we do in real life.
Right. Right.
So if David Lammy could prove me calling him a moron online caused harassment, alarm and distress, that's an investable offence.
Oh, really?
But if I called him a moron to his face, there's no such legislation, no protection there.
It's worth a trip down to London for that.
I met him once in the House of Lords. I sat table next to him. I was very tempted to speak to him, but I was a guest of Baroness Fox.
I just think there's something wrong there, very wrong, both in what's happening in Germany and what you just described. You should be able to insult people. You should be able to offend people. You should be able to. I mean, there's a guy called Charlie Veitch, who I think you watch or know, and I've been watching a few of his videos recently. And he goes into Manchester City Centre, deliberately looks for trouble, and not to cause trouble, but for areas where trouble is brewing, and then gets involved in these very complex altercations where he insults them. So if it's a fat bloke the other day with a broken arm, he was going, "Hey fatty, Humpty Dumpty," or whatever, which I thought was hilarious. But that's insulting people, and I think you're allowed to do that as long as he don't call him a black bastard or something. As long as he doesn't break. In fact, I'm not even sure about the black bastard being a problem. I'm just, I think something's gone wrong, and I don't know when it happened, where you could insult people and it wasn't an issue, and now it is.
And that's because we got to a stage where words are violence.
Yes.
Now, who classes what's insulting? Certain things would say that's insulting. Calling someone a moron is insulting. Still should be allowed, but we know that was meant as an insult.
It was meant as an insult, yeah.
But there's things I could say that you would find insulting that I didn't mean to be insulting.
Yes.
And it goes back to that been discussed many times. Hate speech.
Yeah.
Who defines what hate speech is? Who defines what's insulting? Because what I will accept and find not insulting, somebody else won't. So therefore, we've got a law system now that's all based along perception.
Yeah.
Not black and white. It's perception. It's how did that make me feel? And that then determines if a crime has been committed or not.
It's highly subjective, I suppose.
Yeah, that's no way to run a criminal justice system.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It's highly subjective, and my belief, and I think my views are different to yours now, my belief is that the only thing that you shouldn't be allowed to do is basically smack somebody, hit somebody, basically. I think you should be able to say what the hell you want, including words that you and I might find insulting and offensive, such as the N-word, such as packies, such as O-word. I think those words should be allowed, and people should, and I think that the public will moderate anybody who goes too far with this kind of insulting behaviour. And I've seen it, you and I have seen it in public, where somebody starts attacking somebody verbally and other people step in and say, whoa, back off. I've seen that, I'm sure you've seen that as well. So I think we need to get rid of all this stuff and just have none of it, including the online insulting thing. Just get rid of it all. Allow people to say what they feel, what they think, but not commit acts of violence or whatever, which will obviously cause physical harm to people.
I completely agree with you, apart from one point which we've discussed before: incitement to violence. I think incitement to violence is the only restriction I want on free speech.
Yeah, but isn't that subjective as well?
It is, but it needs a lot of rules connected to it to make sure it hits a certain intensity before we prosecute for it.
Yeah.
So me joking online or me saying online, I'm sick of those, whoever, we just need to kill them all.
Yeah.
That's not incitement to
That's not
violence.
incitement to violence.
No. Incitement to violence is me online saying something like, those people I hate, they live at this house and they pray at this temple.
Yes.
Why don't you go to such a place, buy the explosives there, and I'll tell you how you can set up the explosives that will trap them all in the... That's incitement to violence.
Yeah. But that lady in Cheshire, the 53-year-old or 63-year-old who said, go and blow up the mosques, I don't regard that as incitement to violence.
Because there's no intent. So you have to have something like intent.
Yes.
There has to be a viable threat.
Yes. So you're saying you don't agree with incitement to violence if it is specific, directed effectively. So somebody's saying, oh, we should burn down all the mosques.
Yeah.
It's not specific, it's not it's not directed at a particular mosque or a particular person. It's just a general comment enshrining what she believed at that moment. And I don't think she should have gone to jail for that.
Well, the police already have that rule, because if you phoned up the police today and said over a phone call, I told you I was going to kill you, the police would go, oh, we'll log it. They're not turning up at people's houses who said they're going to kill them because they know there's no intent. They know the threat level's extremely low. Blah blah. If it was the 9th time I've done it and you've seen me outside your house holding knives, they might take it seriously then. But they'll only take it seriously if you are insulting or threatening one of the special people. You know, LGBT, Muslims, blacks, ethnic minorities. It has to be one of the special people. They'll take it seriously. If you're not one of the special people, they don't care. And rightly so.